In a dramatic escalation of tensions in the South China Sea, the United States has made a bold move. In a show of support for the Philippines, American warships and fighter jets have been deployed to the contested waters, sending shockwaves through the region. China, which has long asserted expansive territorial claims in the South China Sea, has reacted with fury, accusing the US of stoking tensions and interfering in internal affairs. This unprecedented move by the US raises a critical question. Is this a turning point in the ongoing dispute, or a calculated gamble that could backfire? The South China Sea has long been a simmering pot of tension, with China claiming vast swathes of the territory through its controversial Nine-Dash Line. This expansive claim overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of several Southeast Asian nations, including the Philippines. China's actions in recent years, including building artificial islands and deploying military assets, have raised concerns about its intentions and its commitment to peaceful resolution. The Philippines, despite being a smaller player in the region, has consistently resisted China's dominance. It has filed legal challenges against China's claims at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, a case it won in 2016. However, China refuses to recognize the ruling, further complicating the situation. The Philippines has also attempted to bolster its own maritime presence through limited patrols and by forging closer security ties with other countries. The United States, though not a claimant itself, has a significant role to play. It champions the principle of freedom of navigation in the South China Sea, a vital waterway for global trade. The US regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations by sending warships and aircraft near disputed features, challenging China's territorial claims. Additionally, the US maintains strong security alliances with countries bordering the South China Sea, such as the Philippines and Japan. This serves as a deterrent to potential Chinese aggression and underscores the US commitment to regional stability. The recent US deployment of ships and jets in support of the Philippines marks a significant escalation. This move can be interpreted in several ways. It could be a show of solidarity with the Philippines, a response to recent Chinese activities in the region, or a broader message to China about respecting international law and freedom of navigation. Regardless of the specific motivation, this US action is bound to draw a strong reaction from China. The South China Sea, a vital waterway for global trade, has long been a simmering pot of tension. China's expansive territorial claims, encompassing most of the sea through its controversial Nine-Dash Line, have been a constant source of friction with neighboring nations, including the Philippines. Now, the US has thrown a wrench into the already tense situation by deploying warships and fighter jets in a show of support for the Philippines. This move has sent shockwaves through the region, raising questions about US objectives and China's potential response. The details of the deployment are crucial in understanding its intent. The specific number and types of vessels, aircraft carriers, destroyers, or patrol aircraft will signal the level of US commitment. A large-scale deployment with powerful warships would be a clear message of deterrence aimed at dissuading China from any aggressive actions against the Philippines. Conversely, a smaller-scale deployment with patrol aircraft might be more focused on freedom of navigation operations, ensuring unimpeded passage for all nations in international waters. The potential US objectives behind this deployment are multifaceted. First and foremost, it's a display of solidarity with the Philippines. The US is a long-standing treaty ally of the Philippines, and this deployment reinforces its commitment to defending its security interests. Additionally, the move serves as a deterrent to Chinese aggression. By showcasing its military might in the region, the US aims to discourage China from taking unilateral actions to enforce its territorial claims. Finally, this deployment is a strong message to China itself. The US is signaling its unwavering commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific region, a concept directly challenged by China's assertive behavior in the South China Sea. However, the US deployment also carries the risk of unintended consequences. China is likely to view this move with suspicion and anger. Diplomatic protests, large-scale military exercises in the vicinity, and increased pressure on the Philippines are all potential responses. In the worst-case scenario, an accidental encounter between US and Chinese forces could escalate into a wider conflict, a chilling prospect considering the firepower involved. The delicate balance of power in the South China Sea could be disrupted leading to heightened regional instability and jeopardizing the free flow of trade through this crucial waterway. The world watches with bated breath as this situation unfolds. The response of Southeast Asian nations with claims in the South China Sea will be crucial. Some might view the US deployment as a necessary counterbalance to China's dominance, while others might urge caution to avoid further escalation. International institutions like ASEAN and the UN could play a role in de-escalating tensions and promoting peaceful dialogue. Ultimately, the future of the South China Sea dispute hinges on the ability of all parties involved to navigate this complex situation with diplomacy and a commitment to international law. The recent US deployment of ships and jets to the South China Sea in support of the Philippines has sent shockwaves through the region. This move directly challenges China's expansive claims in the disputed waters, encapsulated by its controversial Nine-Dash Line. Historically, China has asserted dominance through intimidation and island-building projects, much to the frustration of the Philippines and other Southeast Asian nations. China's reaction to the US deployment is likely to be multi-pronged. Public outrage and diplomatic protests are a given. More concerning, however, is the possibility of increased military activity. China may conduct large-scale naval exercises near the Philippines, showcasing its military might and attempting to intimidate the US and its allies. They may also intensify pressure on the Philippines, using economic sanctions or targeted harassment tactics to force a change of course. The biggest concern lies in the potential for an unintended escalation. Miscalculations or misunderstandings at sea can quickly spiral out of control. A minor incident involving a ship collision or an errant fighter jet incursion could trigger a wider conflict between the US and China, two nuclear-armed superpowers. The consequences of such a scenario would be devastating for the entire region. Beyond the immediate dangers, the US deployment disrupts the already precarious balance of power in the South China Sea. It strengthens the Philippines' position, but also emboldens China to solidify its grip on the region. This could lead to an arms race among regional players, further increasing tensions. Trade and energy security are also at stake. The South China Sea is a vital shipping lane, and any major conflict could disrupt global trade flows and energy supplies. The recent US deployment of ships and jets to the South China Sea in support of the Philippines has sent shockwaves through the region. This bold move by the US is sure to draw strong reactions from various players on the international stage. Southeast Asian nations with overlapping claims in the South China Sea, like Vietnam and Malaysia, will likely view the US move with cautious optimism. While they may not openly endorse confrontation, they might see it as a chance to strengthen their own bargaining positions against China's dominance. However, some nations might also be wary of being drawn into a larger US-China power struggle. International institutions like the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, could play a crucial role in mediating tensions. ASEAN has previously advocated for a peaceful resolution based on international law, and the US deployment might push them to take a more active stance in urging China to adhere to these principles. The United Nations, with its focus on maintaining global peace and security, might also call for restraint and encourage dialogue between the parties involved. The global implications of this US move are significant. The South China Sea is a vital trade route, and any escalation in tensions could disrupt the flow of goods and energy, impacting global markets. A potential conflict could also threaten energy security, as several countries rely on resources extracted from the South China Sea. This economic uncertainty could have a ripple effect, impacting everything from consumer goods to fuel prices worldwide. In conclusion, the US deployment in the South China Sea has the potential to reshape the regional dynamic. While Southeast Asian nations might cautiously welcome the US presence, international institutions will likely urge for de-escalation. The global consequences of any conflict in this vital waterway are undeniable, highlighting the importance of peaceful solutions and adherence to international law to maintain regional and global stability. What do you think? How will China likely to respond to increased presence of us in the South China Sea? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.